Recently, it may seem like I go through a bunch of cameras, but in actuality, I really don't. This is my Sony A1, and paired with my Sigma 500mm prime lens, this has been my go-to wildlife setup for years. But what about all of that OM stuff that you've been making videos about the past 6 months? Wasn't that a new camera? Well, yes, that's true, but that was my first new camera system in over 15 years. And more on that system later. But then in mid-May, Sony announced this.
Today, the bar is being raised once again.
It was the new Sony A7r 6, and on paper, this thing looked like a spec monster. Sony, why are you doing this to me? This upgrade didn't feel like just getting the new iPhone for the year. It seemed like a pretty significant jump over my original A1. Yep, I did it. So let's go see what it can do. Oh, good morning, guys. I'm not gonna lie, I am tired this morning. I was at a concert late last night, and my age is, well, I'm feeling it. Well, tired or not, I am pushing through, and I am out today because today is a very big day. Today is new camera day. And not only that, it is new main camera day. So I am out to test it for the first time, and I am really wanting to show off that new sensor. So that's the big deal with this camera. It is a 67 megapixel fully stacked sensor. So my target today is colorful birds. And yeah, I'm here at the Kingery Audubon Center to try to find leisurely bunting, western tanagers, to try to really put this camera to the test, see what it can do. I made my way in and figured a good first stop would be the feeders to see if there was any activity right by the main visitor center. One thing I was eager to test was the in-body stabilization on this new camera, which is set at 8.5 stops. Compared to the 5.5 in my old A1, I saw a massive improvement. I decided to move on from the feeders, and I had a northern house wren chorus all around me. I pushed on further, going through this wooded area that led up to the South Platte River, where I started to see some warbler species. I then ran into a father-son duo where dad was trying to instruct his son on how to photograph birds. It was a really wholesome moment, and we were both focused on this American redstart.
You're dialing your ISO settings too. You're not going to get better shots than this right here.
I found this white-breasted nuthatch on the way out, and again was impressed by the video stabilization shooting handheld at 500mm. I moved on to my next location, Chatfield Farms, and although starting to get pretty hot on the day, I was still able to find a few decent things. This northern house wren was perched back in the shade, not optimal light, but I thought it was a good test for this new sensor. And sure enough, on the stills, with some Lightroom adjustments, they maintained really good sharpness and detail. I was impressed. Next up, I finally found my leisurely bunting on the day, and like the house wren, it was back in the shade. But still, I was impressed with what the camera was able to pull out of it. While I spent time with this broad-tailed hummingbird, I was hearing a red-eyed vireo off in the distance calling. After about 10 minutes, I was able to locate the Vireo, and not only would the low light capabilities of the camera be put to the test, but also its upgraded subject detect over my original A1. I fired away on stills, and the camera not only recognized the bird through the shadows, but it was also picking up on the eye in between these two small branches. It was very impressive. See those mountains up there? We're gonna go up there today because I want to cool off a little bit before it gets to be mid-90s again today. Yeesh, summer's here. And as I started my hike up in the foothills, it didn't take long to find my first bird. Other birds I was seeing to start the outing were being skittish and only giving me quick hits. But still, when the camera only had a brief second to lock in and make a photo, it performed. But I did get a good look at this olive-sided flycatcher way up on top of this tree who decided to stand still for more than 2 seconds. I was very appreciative. And just like the day before, northern house wren were everywhere. I eventually made it to the top of the trail and then birded my way back down toward the car and did get one last good look at this western wood pewee. Next up was a quick stop to Evergreen Lake, and I'm glad I made this stop because I found some things I wasn't actually expecting. First up were these mallard chicks. They were so tiny they must not be very old. And Mama Mallard definitely looked like she had her hands full. I counted 7 total. After I got done filming the mallard chicks, this spotted sandpiper landed right in front of me out of nowhere and gave me some great looks. As I descended down in elevation, the heat unfortunately was on its way up, so I made one last stop here at a hidden gem. This is Morrison Park. As I walked along Bear Creek, I was finding the usual suspects. This northern yellow warbler across the creek gave the camera another good test to see if it could keep focus through all the grass. To wrap up my day, I did get a quick visit from the cedar waxwing. And a quick cameo appearance from everyone's favorite bird, this American dipper. So here's the scenario today for this little bonus segment. It's the last day I had off on a long weekend, and I was doing some video editing all day. It's a very hot day today, so I was inside my nice cool house catching up on YouTube videos that I'm so far behind on, and all of a sudden the rare bird alert went off, and I saw what it was for, and I was like, out into the heat we go. We cannot miss this one. This will be a lifer for me. Is over in this little park in Denver. So I am on my way, and it'll be worth it. But man, I was really trying to get some editing done today. I guess the rare bird alert does not take into consideration my editing schedule. This is an old golf course that is no longer a golf course. And this land has been in a fight in the city about whether we should just build apartments here. Should we make it a park? Should we do this or that? And every time it just turns into a big fight and nothing ever gets done. So right now it's just an abandoned golf course that you can walk at. And apparently it's got a pretty special bird here right now. And perched out on the old driving range was this. This scissor-tailed flycatcher rarely makes it this far north or this far west. This is mostly a Texas and Midwest bird, so seeing it here in Denver is definitely rare. And she was having no problem fitting in with the other birds here, sitting next to a western kingbird. It was a lifer for me and a great way to end this video out with my new A7R6. All right, well, there you go. My first couple of outings with this A7R6, new main camera for me. And I think you could probably tell in the video, I was very impressed with this thing. It is a beast for bird photography and wildlife photography, and is definitely a, I think, pretty considerable upgrade from what my main camera was, which is the original Sony A1. Which, by the way, is still sitting right there. I did not get rid of that camera. The Sony A1 is still an amazing camera, so I did not get rid of that. What I did get rid of, though, was all of my OM stuff. So I didn't plan on this. I was not expecting the A7R6 to come out in the beginning of June. I thought that was going to be an end-of-year kind of camera that I was going to consider, and never in a million years did I think the specs that came on this camera were gonna be there. I mean, it just completely caught me off guard. So I'm not a rich man by any stretch of the imagination. So if I want to get a new expensive camera, I have to sell other camera stuff to fund that. So my OM journey is over for now. I kind of joked with some friends. I said, well, it's kind of like doing a semester abroad in college. Like, it was really fun, but I had to come home. So anyways, that is kind of what's going on with the OM stuff and how I was able to afford the A7R6. So a couple things that I really wanted to highlight here at the end that I was really impressed with the most, and I mentioned them in the video, was first the in-body image stabilization. The IBIS is a pretty significant jump from my A1, which had 5.5 stops, to 8.5 stops in this camera. And that is a big deal for me because I shoot a lot of video for YouTube. It may not be a big deal if you're just a still shooter. 5.5 stops is still really good. But when I'm shooting video handheld with a telephoto lens, I need all the help I can get for stable video because I'm a run and gun kind of photographer. Like when I'm photographing birds, they're always on the move. So I'm always on the move and I'm always trying to shift perspective. So I don't have time to set up tripods and level tripods and try to make this picture perfect framing, you know. I like to be on the move, and I definitely noticed a massive improvement with in-body image stabilization. It is there's a really big help for me. Second was the subject detect. Again, I brought up in the video that I thought it was really good, and it was grabbing birds' eyes like in between really teeny branches. And that is something that I think the A1 struggled with. Now, the A1 subject detect is good. But like when I was in Panama earlier this year, we were out on a particular, we were at a spot where the birds were back in a bunch of branches and the camera was really struggling. And I just thought, man, if I could get that upgraded, AI subject detect that they've been putting out in their more recent cameras, I said, man, that would be really awesome. So that is in this camera, and yeah, so far it's working really well. So anyways, that's kind of just my initial thoughts on my first couple of outings with the camera. I think it is a monster. And, it's like, well, you just got a new camera. Of course you think it's the best thing ever. A little honeymoon phase for certain is probably there. But I'm just so impressed so far. And I've loved the video. I've loved the stills. I've got all of my custom dial just like on my A1. It definitely feels a little different though. There's still some new muscle memory happening, but it's so far great. So anyways, that is the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you liked the footage in there and some of the images I've gotten so far. And yeah, I was right in the middle of putting together a video about the Pawnee grasslands here in Colorado, but then this camera showed up way sooner than I thought it was going to. So I am still finishing that video. It will be coming next. And of course, I'm trying to think of when we can do our next live wildlife drive, because I thought that was really fun a couple weeks ago when I did that, and I would love to do another one. So anyways, look for those all coming up soon. And thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.